If. And we're live. 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 Okay, had to fix something there. I was echoing myself, so that's fixed. Okay, and we're live for the Sky Knights Session 2. Welcome back, guys. And welcome to the game, Corey, who wasn't able to join us for Session 1. And
hello.
Is now going to be swooping in. That is something we are going to take care of as our first order of business. If you could please... So, Corey, your character is Pate.
Yes.
Now, Pate, you were sent to find some fellow Sky Knights. Ones you know, part of your graduating convoy, as it were, and provide aid to them. You were not on patrol. They were on patrol with Dame Osana the Titan, a more experienced Sky Knight. And you were not on patrol. You were sent to track down some information about some sky pirates. However, you heard that they were attacking a merchant ship as well as a royal ship carrying Prince Demophon. And that some of the folks that you know, particularly Sir Andy, Dame Kaluna, and Sir Zanzorin, had flown off. You were told this by some scouts and squires who were carrying messages back and forth. They had flown off to find the pirates' headquarters, their lair, and root out the threat, rather than flying to the defense of the royal ship or the merchant ship. Which I can tell you the names of if you're interested. Mm-hmm. But, would you, so you were, we're skipping over the requisitioning rules that often happen, that we will be doing in future at the start of a quest, and you have been granted a healing potion. We're just going to assume that's what you requisitioned for the purposes of this particular game. And so add that to your character sheet.
Cool. I'm okay with that.
And you have been flying around there's some floating like debris, like smaller broken off chunks of island to the south of the Orlef Enclave, which is a halfling island, an island populated by a family of halflings with a giant ancient windmill on it. And you've been flying among all of this floating sky island junk. Not junk, but smaller chunks, smaller islands. Not large enough to be put on our map. And you have just heard, you've been sent by Dame Osana, you met up with her, Dame Osana the Titan, and you were sent to go and seek this pirate's lair and provide aid to your companions if necessary. You were looking through. You're trying to find some evidence of something among these broken bits of island and the clouds that blow past, obscuring vision.
If only there was some way we could make a large amount of light and noise really fast.
So you've just heard an explosion. A very loud explosion. The sound attracts you, and you turn in that direction, and will be arriving on the scene in moments. Would you please introduce Pate and his mount? I know that we've done this before, but I want to do it. Maybe there's more details that you can provide. If you would just introduce Pate as Pate and his mount arrive on the scene, and we will pick you out an avatar, a token.
Okay, yeah, so Pate is, he's kind of older by soldier standards. He's in his early 30s, and he's wearing very functional clothing. Like he's wearing he's got a chainmail suit of armor, and he's not really decked out in anything really flashy. It's just like he's wearing very functional style clothing. Like he's got leather on underneath the chain in order to deal with the high winds and that kind of thing. He does have a helmet as well, and his weapon of choice is a halberd. His mount, Skypiercer, is a griffin, and so basically they're just going to be diving towards the island as soon as they see that explosion.
Awesome. And he is an older human male, and he uses a bow, isn't that right?
No, not a bow. He uses a halberd.
A halberd.
Halberd is very not like a bow.
Yes. Yeah, he has a couple of hand axes, but that's about as close as it gets when it comes to ranged weapons for him.
Yeah, fighter college just gives out hand axes for some reason. I also have some hand axes. Just they just go in the backpack.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I might actually use mine.
Would you like 2 more?
I never changed the name of the folder, so the mounts are all under main NPCs still. Oops. There's Skypiercer.
Awesome.
And...
Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
He uses a polearm.
Mm-hmm. He actually technically has both a glaive and a halberd, so...
He's just got like these crossed sticks that you can, as he comes flying up.
I imagine that because Skypiercer is large enough, he's probably got like a holster or something for the second one.
Is it just double-ended?
No. It is definitely not that, because that would be really bad on a flying mount.
I think Andy definitely calls you Patty and Skippy.
Why do you need to give me a nickname? My name is already Pate. It's 1 syllable.
Well, you Wallies, you love to give things nicknames. So you'll be Patty, and is your mount a male or female?
Male.
And he'll be Skippy. It's great.
Whatever.
You see, the names are shorter. They're easier to remember. Like my name My name is Iandil Bryn Ferranore. It's a very long name, but you can call me Andy. See, it's very nice.
Yes, and that's great. I'm just curious why you think Patty is shorter than Pate.
It's a nickname.
Yes.
It can't be your name. It has to be different.
Does he have a shield?
He does not have a shield.
I guess he has
It's hard to wield a
two-handed,
halberd and a shield. at
two-handed
the same
weapons,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes extra skill. I mean, it feels like you could put a buckler on like the lower hand, theoretically.
That's not that useful though, because the lower hand is the one that's facing away from the enemy.
Actually, looking at your character picture, I feel like you could put a buckler on either of those hands and it would still work.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it on on the shoulder or something, but at that point, it's not really a shield; it's just a pauldron.
Okay. Purple or black?
Let's go with purple. Cool. I can work with that.
That's you.
Nice.
Very nice.
Actually, let me, Alright, I'm just going to make that part of your character sheet so that it'll all be settled for next time. Oh wait, I should have made your name first. What's your character's name again? Pate?
Yep, P-A-T-E.
Pate. Boom. Alright.
All right, awesome.
And... wait, I've got to do this again. There we go. Okay. So, Pate comes riding up on the back of... oh, I need to make Skypiercer's name show up, too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
Awesome.
I know, I just need to... okay, perfect. Alright. So, Pate, you come flying up right at this moment. Now, Kaluna, you are... I think, Andy, you just became conscious again.
Yeah, she poured a
that's right.
healing potion down my throat is the last thing that happened for us.
So, so Andy is just waking up as Emmy the Hawk kind of pokes his shoulder with her long beak, and Kaluna, you're standing over him, breathing hard because he was having like the death twitches. He was on his last breath. Moments before, Zanzorin died in a terrible explosion of a air pirate ship that shot spikes in all directions, and Honoranth, the bronze dragon mount, cried out in pain and grabbed him and told you that he was going to fly north to try and save Zanzorin. He's going to try to find help at the Orlef Enclave. So he has zoomed off. Honoranth has flown off to the north, headed for the Orlef Enclave. And however, Kaluna, and I'm not sure if Andy was conscious for this, for Zanzorin's death.
I think he was conscious when his mount yelled, but not for the actual moment of. I think I got knocked out just before the explosion.
Okay. So he saw that happen. So you both saw that despite Honoranth's hope and desperate desire to save the good Zanzorin, his body was basically just punctured, run through. His head, there was like multiple spikes through his skull. So he looked very, very dead. Probably perished. And now you hear wing beats on the air, and you guys recognize Skypiercer and Pate, having trained together at the Wind's Eye Lookout, the Sky Knight's tower, as they come flying up. And Pate, you're looking down, you can see these two are landed over here. And it looks, you can see, Andy's very hurt. They both look like they've been through battle. There's a body of someone you don't know over here, and there's like ship debris. There's like scattered bits of masts and sails and rope and body parts scattered over the western side of this small floating island, which is covered in all these strange glowing sigils and structures. Take it away, guys.
All right. So, seeing that they're landed, but still kind of injured and stuff, Pate is gonna take a quick look around to make sure that there aren't any other enemies still nearby before he sets down himself.
Okay, make a perception roll.
Okay. That's a 7.
You zip around, but you can feel yourself. You are looking down. You know there were 3. One person is missing. And your fellow members of the newly formed Conroy look hurt. So you're distracted by that. You can tell.
All right. Then, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to land. I'm going to land down here.
Gotta get shrunken down to indicate that you're landed.
Yeah, and then I'm going to... I'm just going to... I'm going to say... Are you two all right? Where's Zanzorin? I heard he was with you.
Pate! And you see Kaluna has like tears in her eyes. And she says, Zanzorin's gone. He was on a ship and it exploded somehow.
What? He's dead?
I think so. Honorath took him up north, but I don't know what could possibly be made of him.
He looked pretty bad, but maybe he'll pull through. I don't know.
I should have gotten here sooner. Damn it. I was looking for you, but I wasn't really having any luck until I saw... I guess that was the ship that I saw that when it exploded. Damn it. Are you two all right? Do you need anything? Are there still enemies around here?
That potion worked really well, so I actually feel pretty okay now, but we might be in a little over our heads here.
We dealt with the ship, but there were harpy pirates? There were harpies among the pirates, and one of them flew off. I have no idea if she's going to bring reinforcement.
We have to assume that she is. Are you two in any condition to keep fighting, or do we need to find some place to hide and lay low?
What time is it, Max? I thought it was like dusk before.
Pate, yes, glancing around, Andy, you are reminded that the light is fading. It is dusk on Fiexi the 14th.
Well, Emmy can't fly at night, so
Right.
probably need to.
Okay, well, let's see if we can find some place to rest for you guys. I've been flying, or Skypiercer's been flying for a while now. So yeah, let's try to regroup. Do you know of any islands with a good tree line or anything around here that we can use for cover?
No, there's nothing but these tiny.
We just flew
And
in
she-
and got in a fight. We didn't really have a chance to look around either.
Yeah, she points to some of these small islands that are just kind of floating debris around this larger island.
Mm-hmm.
Max, would you read the description again of the arches and that central deck?
Sure. Essentially, this island is very odd. It has these somewhat ruined structures, partially overgrown, old crumbling stones. The archway to the south is missing its top. It's somewhat crumbled in. In the center of this island, there is a floating semi-crystalline stone hovering above what appears to be a well of crackling blue energy. And inscribed upon that hovering stone is some odd marking, like a rune. The whole place, there are bodies, there's debris, there are also metal spikes lying around. But here and there you can see some scattered bits of what looks like garbage, like things people might leave behind. There's a campfire, a burned out circle of stones on the northwestern side of the island. And each of the archways that isn't crumbled has a glowing stone at the top.
How much light are the stones and the crackling pool of energy giving off?
Not very much.
Okay, so not enough to like see by.
Not really. You once you were close, you did spot it. That's partially what led you here. Although you didn't see the ship, the pirate ship, until it was almost upon you.
Because we weren't good at looking.
Alright, well, if we were to go to one of these other islands to try to get some shelter for the night, just because it's kind of corpsey around here, is it pretty likely that these islands would stay grouped together, or do the winds tend to shift a lot and, make islands blow further away from each other?
They tend to stay in place.
Okay.
Unless there's a weird wind going on. They might shift a bit, but...
Yeah, but flying up high, we'd be able to find it again pretty easily.
Indeed. All of the other islands that are on this map are lower down.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to one of these lower islands and try to set up some kind of small camp. I don't like being out in the open, but I definitely don't like being on this island for any longer than we need to be.
We might be able to hide behind some of these stones, but the birds and Skippy there should probably be moved, certainly. I don't like leaving this place unattended, though.
Yes, but if you two aren't in a condition to fight, then I would rather that we take them on our terms rather than get surprised in the night.
Oh, after that potion, I'm good to go.
I'm good to go as well. It might be better for us to investigate and find out a little bit more in case a big party comes back and we can't explore here again.
All right. Well, if you two are in good condition, then I guess we can keep going. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about what's going on here? What do you know?
We
Well-
came.
There was a ship, and we got rid of the ship. That's about it.
That's kind of the high level, but there were also strange symbols all over the ship that drew your eye. But they seemed like foul magic. I've never seen anything like it before.
Strange symbols like the ones that are on these arches, or something different?
Something different.
Max, I'm looking around at the debris. I mean, do I see any, like, remains of sail or anything like that still have the symbols on them?
You see the debris. Go ahead and make an investigation check if you want to search around.
Okay.
I'd also like to start doing that as soon as she starts kind of rummaging.
Okay.
And I don't know what I did with my character sheet.
Ooh, 19.
Oh, I'm real bad at this. This is gonna go great.
All right. While they're investigating, I'm kind of tending to Skypiercer and feeding him a bit of horse jerky.
You have just had a long and grueling flight. So Skypiercer narfs that up eagerly. Andy, you don't find anything. The ship has been blown to smithereens.
Figured.
Kaluna, you find bits of sail and wood. No marking upon them, but something else very strange. Instead of that, what looked like a painted symbol, that I believe it was your character that identified it.
No, I think it was Anzorin. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, he basically yelled for us not to look at it, but I don't think we knew what it was.
Okay.
I think most of our arcane knowledge has been
Eliminated.
Blown to
Nixed.
smithereens.
Well, I believe Kaluna was about to make an knowledge arcana check last time. But, you find pieces of wood and sail that, although they have lost the symbol, there are areas on them that, when touched, literally crumble to ash. It's a very strange thing. They haven't changed shape, but when disturbed, a section of it has almost been transmuted into ash, a different substance.
Huh.
And it's a surface level, as though it were where, with a 19, you can tell from the general shape that it is where they were painted with that odd symbol.
Is it actually turning to ash in the shape of that symbol? Because that would be handy.
No.
Damn it.
That would be handy, but you don't know what else it might do.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I've, well,
for it.
I don't know if it'd be Arcana. I guess I'm just trying to glean as much information as
What-
I can about...
About what?
Well, I think we've already said that we've never seen the symbol before. We already knew its function.
You still might know more about it if you want to make a check.
I think you did say some of our instructors kind of told us about these like
Oh, that's
magic
right.
imbued
There was, like, a
etchings or writings. So
briefing.
maybe if I could make a history check, does that sound appropriate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or
I was
not.
real shitty in the classroom.
You know it's creepy.
More of a kinesthetic learner than. While given that I found nothing of interest, or given that Andy found nothing of interest, he would like to inspect like the grass itself and see if he can find any tracks, because that is something he's good at.
Go for it. Survival check.
But he's about as good at that as he is at investigating, apparently. So, screw it.
You definitely find some tracks.
Mhm.
They're odd, and it's hard to put your finger on why.
What, like any particular area that they're in, or just all over?
Are you walking over the whole island?
I mean, he kind of had this idea that maybe these gates are some kind of magical door, and
Move yourself to where you're
tracks.
where you're looking for tracks. I assumed that you were all staying in this general area.
Let's start over here.
Okay, that's where you made that survival check.
Okay. So there are some tracks, but they're weird in a weird way.
Yep,
Can I just walk to like the next one and do another?
absolutely.
track? Cool.
As the sun is setting, you are more and more relying on the crackling blue light emanating
Well,
from
I have
this
dark vision.
odd well of energy over the island, which is up on a dais.
So Andy has dark vision, so
Mm-hmm.
he can still see. It's Emmy that doesn't.
Okay.
You have dark vision, your mount doesn't. I don't have
I know.
dark vision, my mount does.
Yeah, it's great. We're perfectly aligned.
I'm sure you guys will take. You will keep track of that.
Yeah. He can fly at night but not walk, and I can walk at night but not fly. That's the important thing. Yeah, I didn't do much better in this area either.
Again, more of these odd tracks and marks, but you're not sure what is making them odd to you.
And last area.
Okay. You find
He's supposed to be good at this.
in front of the reddish glowing stone, you don't find anything that catches your eye.
He's shaken from everything that's happened.
You are now away from the blood spatter, bodies, and debris.
So while he's investigating the arches, and while I was over there sifting through debris, I think I would also like to just look through the pirates' bodies and see if I find anything of interest.
Okay. There's really only the one. The woman who jumped to her death. Go ahead and make a investigation check on her, please.
Boy, I should have taken that investigation skill as one of my proficiencies.
It's a pretty useful
We're
one.
more of a fighting
Goddamn.
group now.
Wow, these are some very average rolls.
Let's go stab something.
Like, I'm a knight, not a detective. Okay. Go ahead and roll a d12 for me.
A d12? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, another 10.
That's at least above average on
Yeah.
D12.
Yeah, that's an improvement.
The woman has in her boot. You realize her foot is rather stiff on the dead body, and she actually has a wooden foot.
Is it a magic wooden foot?
It appears to be strapped to her body, and it is more likely a prosthetic.
So I guess Kaluna is going to just be her curious little self about it and just kind of like, I don't know, she's going to try to unstrap it, inspect it, anything of interest other than it's a prosthetic.
When you pick it up, it rattles.
Ooh. I'm gonna pry it open with one of my daggers.
You're going to pry it open. Make another investigation
Or
check.
cut it real good.
If only.
another
if
investigation.
Oh,
only
you're gonna literally like slice into it with a weapon.
And not the end of it. Oh, that's a good one.
All right, so you start stabbing it with your dagger, and then you
Investigate.
find a little catch that slides up with the tip of your dagger, and a secret compartment opens in the wooden foot. Just slides open. There are some coins inside.
Now, can I ask you, I guess we haven't really discussed like loot and money and all of that yet. I mean, do we just requisition what we want? Do we pay in gold for what we want? Do we make some kind of tithe to the order? How does that work?
Once you are a full-fledged knight, your mount and gear and the care thereof are your own responsibility. So you can requisition
Right.
stuff on top of that. But taking in the spoils of war is definitely part of the knightly way.
Okay.
Although
so I'll-
greed is, you certainly wouldn't want to be seen as greedy. That's not, you wouldn't be for looting a pirate.
Oh no, and Kaluna would not. Yeah, it's not really in her makeup. So she'll call over to Pate and Andy and just say, "Hey, I found something on this pirate. She had a cool wooden foot. It had some gold in it."
Well, that's something at least. Andy, have you found anything so far?
So I guess while some of that was going on, Andy has been making his way back via the most direct path, and walks up onto the dais and looks into this magical glowing thing while he's on his way past it.
You feel the tingle of strong magic on your skin as you step up the crumbling stone steps and look upon this semi-crystalline stone. You have a sense of the age of this place. and its power. Some ancient empire must have built it.
Neat. He will just kind of look into it for a moment and then continue on.
Okay.
There are weird tracks, but... Oh, you want me to do it? Or you want me to roll, or...
No, that was in response to Lindsay. Kaluna,
Okay,
inside the secret compartment in the foot are 4 silver pieces and 6 gold pieces.
Okay, I'll give each of them 2 gold pieces.
Okay.
You two go ahead and keep that. I had no part in that fight, so it doesn't seem right for me to share in the spoils.
Fair enough.
So it would be 3 gold pieces and how much silver?
Just add the 3 gold to your sheet.
Kaluna doesn't split the silver.
Apparently not.
No, she likes the silver ones.
All right.
And he doesn't mind. Well, there were some tracks. Strange tracks, but that's about all.
By this point, it is starting to get dark.
Andy's gonna head back to Emmy, and I'm kind of picturing that, like, the way you do with actual, like, hunting hawks and things, that he has, like, a hood that he puts on her at night.
All right.
And so he'll talk to her quietly and, like, basically prepare her for, almost bedtime. Or start preparing her. I'm still not sure if we're gonna sleep here or on that other small island, so he'll just be preparing that.
Well, if you two are still in good shape, then I think we should we should camp here just in case anyone does come back.
Maybe down by that broken pillar, maybe?
Sure, that seems like a good plan.
I agree.
Okay. So, Andy will actually stop getting Emmy ready for bed and instead, I guess climb back on her and kind of do this short flight over.
Okay. So where are you guys going?
I think Pate's gonna set up right here, and actually, I'm not sure that Pate wants to be that close to the edge, or where Andy is.
Oh, Andy wants the cover of these posts.
Yeah. Pate will be down, or probably. Well, yeah, I'll get a little closer. I'll be on this rocky area. Sky Piercer's a little harder to hide.
Yeah, Max, are the sizes of the mounts right now reasonably accurate?
No, they're a little bit smaller. Slightly smaller.
So they would be bigger than this, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they would be more like this.
Would
I shrunk them down to show that they were lower down than they were before.
So she doesn't quite fit behind this tree then?
Well, that's with wings extended.
Okay, so
yeah, wingspan is a big part of that, and
he's gonna try to kind of nestle her into this little corner here, and then put her hood on and basically get her ready for bed, so to speak.
Okay. Emlenthal settles in.
And then he's gonna stay behind this stone post where he can still see her, but also kind of have some line of sight out.
Okay. Okay.
I'll take the first watch. I think that you two should get some rest while you can.
So we're going to... so you guys are setting up behind these objects.
Yes.
Are you eating... are you lighting a fire? Are you setting up tents? Are you doing any of those things?
Well, actually, I guess before we... Well, let me ask. Like, I think we'd probably want to set up camp one where we're obscured, but also kind of like on the lee side of the wind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is where we are right now kind of like the most, shielded, comfortable area on the island?
Good question.
I also I don't know what to expect climate-wise. Like, is it cold? Will we need tents?
Right. I'd say we're not setting, or at least I would not be setting up a tent or a fire.
You're not on the lee side of the island. So the wind will catch you, but the wind isn't too terrible right now.
We have like bedrolls and things as part of our equipment, right?
Mhm.
So, do we have something like that would be like a blanket or something we could put over our mount to keep them sort of comfortable if it were to get colder?
Sure. Yeah, you would have gear for your mount, I think.
So yeah, so Andy gets Emmy nice and cozy behind that tree,
Okay.
but he doesn't intend to start a fire or build a tent or anything. He's just going to basically kneel down behind this rocky structure, and he just has to do his trance thing. He doesn't actually sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do the same with Bethan.
Now, Pate, with Skypiercer, you are out in the open mostly?
Yeah. Pate's probably not too keen on, like, sleeping super close to the edge. So, so as nice as the protection is from, or, like, the cover, he's not sure that it's going to be worth the potential risk there.
But are you guys trying to be hidden in general, or no?
I'm trying to be hidden.
Yeah, I definitely don't think we're going to be setting a fire for camp.
Okay. All right. Well, I have put these things down, and I am going to introduce a mechanic.
Whoa.
So, this is what we will be using for camping and staying out of trouble at night. You can get check marks or X's, and with the three of you, I'm going to have you describe, you've already done this to a certain extent, how you are setting up for the night. Maybe you're making a stealth check to hide behind cover. Maybe you are setting up some kind of defenses in case of an attack. Maybe you are setting up to be more comfortable, something like that. And then I'll have you make a check, and we will see if you get 3 check marks before you get 3 X's.
Okay.
So I think Aendil is making, and Kaluna are making stealth rolls.
Yeah, mostly
Yes.
for sort of tucking Emmy behind this tree. Like, Andy himself is just, like, pressed up against this stone thing to, like, kind of block line of sight of him. But he really wants to make sure Emmy can't be seen.
Kaluna is gonna get on Bethan, wrap herself in her white cloak, and try to get as hidden as possible, probably over where Emlyn.
So, it turns out hiding stuff behind trees is right up Andy's alley.
Oh my god. A natural 20.
So not only does he have like a blanket for her, but he has like a camo like ghillie net thing as well that like completely obscures her.
Awesome. I think a nat 20 like that. I think we can do 2 check marks.
Cool.
Peyton, you don't even need to roll because Kaluna adds another check mark. So you guys
Awesome.
are pretty. You guys are definitely get the hidden status for your camp.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yep. We didn't even get to see an X, which looks like that.
All right, I like this system.
So, you bed down for the evening. Who's on first watch?
Paytas.
Okay. You go ahead and make a perception roll for me as the clouds around you lose their red sunset orange and drift into dark masses obscuring the stars in the night.
All right, I got a 10.
Pate, you stay awake while Skypiercer slumbers, I assume. And, you look around. The moon, which is called the Lost One, meanders in a zigzag, unpredictable pattern across the sky. And the shadows twist and turn crazily of the broken archway pillars. How long do you watch for?
I'll watch for 3 hours.
Okay. The wind blows by. The grass rustles. Nothing happens while your companions slumber. Who do you wake up for the next watch?
I'll wake Kaluna up.
Okay.
Okay. So Kaluna does not have dark vision, which means Bethan is getting up too. And
You're gonna make Bethan watch even though he flew all that distance?
well, how am I gonna watch? Well, so what did Pate do? Did he have Skypiercer awake?
Well, there is a dim glow that covers the island from the various glowing magic sources.
Okay, so let me say this. So yeah, I don't wake Bethan up. And
Okay.
I'd say for the first hour, I patiently do my watch, and then I get kind of bored, and I decide to stealthily sneak up to that glowing crystal in the middle of the island and just kind of inspect and gaze.
What could possibly go wrong?
And you do this after 1 hour?
Yes. I get bored very easily.
That is some interesting timing. Please go ahead and move yourself to where you are going.
Okay. And I did say stealthily, so should I make a stealth check?
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow, what's up with these shitty rolls tonight, man?
You are watching. The energy is roiling in the well, crackling. It almost bubbles up like water, rushes up to the lip, and you hear a sound from the northern archway.
Eh.
And similar energy crackles within it, almost blinding you. And something appears there.
Oh, god damn it.
Followed soon by more. They start looking around. And come over to this fallen pirate. And they start chattering to one another in a strange language.
Could I make a quick acrobatics roll to roll off of the dais and run back to my...
You can. You're trying to use acrobatics to help you with your stealth. Is that what I'm understanding?
Basically, I would like to, as quietly and as quickly as possible, run off of the dais and get back to my group. So what would you like that?
I'm going to ask you for... Well, you already made a stealth roll. So hang on a second.
How perceptive are harpies? Yes!
Woohoo!
Oh, that's also the one I pissed off a lot.
As the energy fades from the archway behind them, they are very focused on examining the debris and this body, and they have not yet noticed you. If you want to try and sneakily roll off the top of the dais and sneak back to your hidden camp, I am going to ask you to make an acrobatics roll and then a stealth roll.
Okay.
Well, your successful acrobatics roll gives you advantage on the stealth roll.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So what do you end up with?
So a 23 and a 24.
You can, as you slip off the top and crawl through the grass, you can hear the harpies speaking to one another.
Something happened here. The garrison is dead. Oh, it's been compromised. This is bad. This is very bad. Master will be displeased.
The portal's light is not gone. As Kaluna, what's your speed, Kaluna?
I think it's 25. Let me double check. Yes, it's 25.
Huh. we're gonna say you get about there, as you have to
Okay.
move slower when you're being stealthy. So you're kind of crawling through the grass, quite successfully after rolling off the dais silently. The energy in the center wells up again. Energy crackles, this time in this archway. And the harpies look up, holding their weapons. And then the lead one says,
Our master arrives.
and again, there's this sound. I'm going to ask Pate and Andil to please make perception rolls with disadvantage.
I got a 14.
Okay. Pate and Andy, you both awaken to that strange magical sound. So you both wake up. You're lying on the ground, and if you look over, you can see these creatures who have not yet noticed you. Something steps through that portal. A fiery horse. And on its back, an armored horror. Carrying two twisted blades. You can see this skeletal face with glowing eyes from underneath the helmet. Fire springs up from each step of where this nightmarish horse walks. And you can see these bloody stubs along its back, like as though it has once had wings that have been cut off. And this figure steps forth, and the harpies bend their heads and say,
Master! Lord Tybalt the Fearless!
They chorus. The armored horror kind of gives a salute with its blades. And let me show you what that looks like, by the way. That's what he looks like.
Okay.
And
So Pate is
that's what the horse
Trying-
looks like.
Yeah, Pate is trying to stay hidden, but he's got his polearm ready. He's not wearing his chainmail because
Yes, he would be sleeping.
nobody sleeps in chainmail.
So your hand kind of slips out from under your bedroll and grasps the solid wooden handle of your polearm, but it gives you little comfort. You can feel heat and waves of evil intent coming off of this figure. This foe is immediately recognizable as incredibly powerful. And perhaps most disturbingly of all, Kaluna. You're close enough to see that the armor that it wears is twisted, blood-stained, and has odd sigils that have burst out from it. Almost like the armor itself has been warped by magic, but you can tell it was once marked by the Sky Knights.
Okay.
The Harpies say,
Lord Tybalt the Fearless, the garrison is gone. Our portals lie undefended, Lord.
and the being scans around. Its glowing eyes pass right over the patch of grass where Kaluna is hidden, having paused, at least for the moment, in her belly crawl back to the hidden camp. And the helmet scans around and passes right over you. You almost feel its burning gaze pass over you. And a voice comes from within the helmet.
They were greedy fools. My spies tell me they were discovered by the Sky Knights. And part of the garrison even went after a royal ship. The idiots got what they deserved, making them move too early.
He spurs his mount forward, and each hoofstep upon the island leaves a sort of smoking trail in the grass. And where it passes, the grass withers and twists slightly. Andil, as you are peeking up above from where you're lying in the camp, you realize this is what made those really weird treks.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
So they said a name and a title, and I'm sorry I missed the name.
I will
but I'm
paste it
wondering
in
if
chat.
it's a name we remember.
Make a history check.
Okay. Sorry, one sec. Nope. Lord Tybalt the Fearless.
It's a Girian name. And you don't get the title the Fearless for nothing in the Sky Knights. He spurs his mount and it walks up the crumbling steps, snorting. You see the horse's burning eyes also passing over your hiding places. And he says further,
We shall close this area until things cool off.
he sheathes one of his blades and reaches out his hand. And the crystal seems to give forth an effort of will, and the crystal, that rune-marked stone in the middle of the island, lifts up out of the well of energy and shrinks down as it floats toward his hand.
Wait, Lord, say the Harpies. Let us pass back to our own hideout, that we may continue our raiding and treasure for your coffers, Lord.
Yes, do so. Go, my minions.
And before he lets the crystal float back, and they pass again through the portal. Each one, one after the other, disappearing through the archway. And only then does he lift the crystal from the well. So the harpies disappear. Pass as they walk through the portal. And when he lifts it from the well, the energy dies down. And each of these keystones above these archways go dark. The helmet, kind of with the glowing eyes within and the skeletal face, once again scans around the island, now dark, but for the glow of the fiery mane and tail of his mount.
Come to Hania. We go.
He spurs the fiery horse into the air, and it takes off. And then fades from existence, kind of becoming ghostly and translucent as he flies up into the air, and then disappearing entirely, leaving the island in darkness.
We need to get back to headquarters.
Kaluna rolls onto her back and breathes deeply and says,
I agree.
Well done on that stealth check, by the way.
oh god,
Holy crap.
And well done getting advantage on it as well.
holy crap.
It's about midnight. In fact, it's exactly midnight.
Well, we can't fly tonight because Emmy is still night blind. But at first light, we have to get back to headquarters. We have to report what we just saw. Matt, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, has Matt been talking? I thought he was just being quiet.
No, he has been talking. Hang on.
It's
Sorry.
there's a button on these.
How long
headphones
ago did you guys lose
that
them?
freaking mutes.
I'm not sure. I just looked over at Discord and noticed that your light was green.
I haven't heard him. He didn't respond when I said that the bad guy that he recognized the tracks. So at least that
Was
long.
that the last thing? Okay. God, this my stupid.
Can you hear him now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
There's a very sensitive button on the cord of this microphone.
Oh no.
And this happens all the time. This is not the first time this has happened. So, I guess I need to pay better attention. Anyway, yeah, I was trying to have a conversation with Pate there, but obviously it wasn't going very well.
Okay. Well,
It was a little one-sided.
What was your reaction to the tracks thing?
I don't remember at this
Okay,
It was
doesn't
just like, huh, okay.
Okay.
Did you hear me saying that like Andy only had to sleep 4 hours because he's an elf and all that?
We haven't heard a word.
Okay, so when Kaluna got up, Andy was waking up naturally anyway because he only has to sleep 4 hours.
Got it. So he saw that
He's in
happen.
trance. So he saw all that happen anyway, regardless of whether it woke him up. But what he was trying to say to Pate a minute ago was that he thinks we could probably break these archways and screw up their transport network or whatever. It might be a borderline too clever idea for him though. So I don't know.
What's his intelligence?
Like 10 or 8 something.
I think that's a plenty dumb enough idea for him.
Oh, never mind. It's 8. I mean, he's just been sitting here looking at this broken archway, and he's like, well, if this one can break, maybe others can break.
I think we should avoid doing that before we talk to our superiors, because this is a gate we know about, and we also know that they're not going to be using it for a while. So if they have a way of activating it, then we could use it to our advantage.
They might have one of those. Yeah, they might have that crystal thing. Yeah. Okay.
So let's call breaking them Plan B.
Okay.
But yeah. So for now, I guess we should wait until dawn.
Well, you guys can go back to sleep. I'll keep watch.
Okay.
Yeah, Kaluna timidly goes back over to Bethan.
I'm not sure that Pate's actually getting another wink of sleep tonight, but
Yeah, fair enough.
he'll try to get some rest.
You sleep fitfully at best, your dreams disturbed by visions of that fearful creature that was once, no doubt, a Sky Knight. And Andil. You're awake and on watch.
Yeah, he got his equivalent of a full night's rest. So he's gonna actually climb up onto this other rock and sit on that while he's keeping an eye out.
Andil, slowly, over the course of the rest of the night, you begin to notice this withering of the greenery on this island, spreading from where the armored figure passed.
Ugh, gross.
From where he took off. And it spreads out, and by dawn, which comes without further event, the whole island's plants and trees and grasses, they're all brown, dead.
Can I maybe go up to maybe these vines that are curled around this rock right near us and take a closer look at, see if I recognize the effect it's having on them or anything?
Your companions are waking up right now.
Sure.
Go ahead and make a...
Nature?
I'll let you make a nature, arcana, or history check.
Sorry, nature or arcana?
Or history.
Or history. I am equally bad at all of those, so let's go with nature. Plant dead. That ain't right.
Congratulations on your non-natural one.
A disturbingly dead plant.
Well, that ain't right. It was fine before. Let's get off this rock.
Yeah, Pate's gonna have like a very short breakfast, feed Skypiercer really quick, and then he's ready to go.
Okay.
Putting on his chainmail, which I guess takes like 10 minutes, but
Well, there's some breaking down of camp things and morning prep things you guys have to do.
true.
But you eat a quick breakfast, put on your armor, feed your mounts, which shake the dew from their feathers, and are ready to fly. So,
like, how much do our mounts must eat a lot, right? Like, I'm kind of picturing like a whole chicken. Like,
they do. You probably haven't carried enough food with you because you were out on patrol,
right?
To really feed them. So you're gonna have to probably give them more of a meal at some point today.
I'm gonna say maybe Aendil had like a drumstick or something, and he's gonna throw it, and Emmy will catch it in midair.
Cool.
Yeah, griffins like to eat horses, so it's a little harder.
That probably
Actually, yeah. If a real life hawk could eat a chicken, probably a giant hawk would eat a horse too. Yeah.
So you guys know you're just to the south of the Orlef Enclave in 2818. Where are you going? And you can cross one hex with a day's travel. So you
the
kind
Orlef
of
Enclave is friendly, right?
theoretically.
So maybe so long as we don't directly crash into their fancy windmill, we could pass through that hex relatively safely.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That seems like a good place to go to get some supplies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Do we have is there like a faster than our flight communication chain of some kind? Like some way we could get word back before we actually get there?
There are magical means of communication. You do not have one, however.
Right. Okay. Just curious.
If only we had a sorcerer.
If only we had any number of non-martial.
If only our sorcerer still had his limbs and his face.
I like how you guys are like hardcore knights now.
Yeah.
No spellcasters.
You said we were Sky Knights. I bought that whole hook, line, and sinker.
You did
Yeah,
indeed.
he's literally a knight. I have a bow, and she's sneaky. Like, there's not a lot of fancy, magic-y crap going on here.
It's
We
gonna be
may need
interesting.
to dual class at some point.
Well, you don't forget you can also get lots of magic items. You can
Right.
requisition things.
That's true.
Emlynthal is going to take a level of cleric.
Yes, alright. Emmy becomes the cleric, Skypiercer will become a wizard.
So you guys are just flying north to the Orlef Enclave.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that seems like the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And yeah, if they have some kind of place that we could get a more robust meal for the mounts, that might be a good option. Like if we can, I don't know, buy a horse. It's gonna be expensive.
Yeah. I'm kind of treating it more as like I've got like strips of horse meat, like jerky kind of thing that I give them for treats, but that's
Yeah.
probably not going to be his main diet at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
As a trained griffin.
Uh,
I was more commenting on what their appetite was. Like they do eat a lot.
Kaluna.
Yes.
You are, as you take care of Bethan, and he wakes up, cleans his feathers off a little more. You can tell Bethan has learned from that experience. What's his challenge rating?
I think it might be.
It should be on
still.
All right. Well, please roll a D100 on the mount upgrade chart and change that to 1/2 the challenge rating.
Nice.
Oh, I have a
89.
feeling about that number. Sounds like an interesting
All right,
part of the table.
that is a maneuvering upgrade.
Yes.
So it's going to cost 5 less feet to turn in combat.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
So you can turn after only 10 feet instead of 15 like these guys.
Awesome. All right,
So-
let me add that.
Maneuvering minus 5 feet to turn is the way I wrote it on the chart.
Now, if she rolls that 2 more times, how does that work?
Well, what do you mean, how does it work?
Like, if she gets it down to 0, she could just pivot in place.
Pretty much.
Like a spin move. That doesn't
Still-
increase her number of turns, though,
No,
right?
it's still 1 per number of
Yeah.
moves. 1 per move. Alright. So, you guys fly to the north. And you soon see... It's only like an hour's flight. You soon see the tremendous arms of that windmill creaking in the wind. This huge structure, clearly built by some ancient race or empire. Not something that is of Girian make, certainly. Possibly built by those same folks who built those portals on the island to the south. And as you pass through more clouds, you can see the farmland on this relatively large island spread out before you. Rows of various green things growing. Some of the fields are brownish. It is winter right now. And some of the fields are lying fallow. But as you swoop down lower toward the main cluster of buildings, you can see several halflings pausing in their work and looking up at you guys as they are clearing debris and weeds from the fields. And they kind of wave you guys down. On the windmill, there are several perches that have been kind of grafted on to the main structure. So you can actually land conveniently.
Okay. Yeah, I'll motion to the others that we should land.
Okay.
Yeah, I go into land.
Would we have, like, visited this place before, or is this, like... wow, this is an exciting thing for us to be visiting the lighthouse.
You might have seen it in passing. But you have not been here before.
Cool.
So you swoop down and land, and a more elderly halfling climbs up the outside of the windmill and pulls out a pipe and lights it as you are landing. He's a bit older, as I mentioned, and he kind of looks at you guys, scowling, but somehow not in an unfriendly way. And he introduces himself
I think you cut out, Max.
I did? Where did I leave off?
That he introduces himself.
No, I just paused. He introduces himself as Urios Orlef. And he says, welcome, friends. Sky Knights, always good to see you. Here you've been dealing with our pirate problem.
Yes, we have. We actually have some information that we're trying to head back to, or head back to the headquarters to report. Is there something that you need?
Well, I don't think so. One of you folks came by earlier and asked us if, well, he was dead, actually.
Was he on a big dragon?
Yes, the dragon spoke to us. It was very alarming, actually. We thought we were all going to be devoured, but he was friendly.
Yes, that one took some getting used to. But his rider was dead.
We have some powerful magic here. My wife, Yarna, she knows a thing or two about healing magic. Tried to revive the poor fellow, but he is no more. I'm sorry to tell you.
Kaluna deflates a little.
We were really afraid that big bronze-scaled dragon would punish us for not being able to heal him, but I think the dragon cried, maybe. It was touching. But he said if we couldn't help, then he had to bring the knight, Sir Zan something?
Zanzorin.
That was it. Said he had to bring him to the Sky Knights to be laid to rest. Very unfortunate, but I wish we could have done more.
We appreciate that you tried.
Yeah, Andy will kind of kneel down a little bit to be closer to him and reach out and try to shake his hand solemnly.
He shakes your hand.
Thank you for what you tried to do for our friend.
You're welcome, Sir Knight. I hope the pirates are all gone.
For now?
Well, that's something. They've been a problem.
Yes, we'll be continuing to monitor the area for certain, but it does seem that we've driven them off.
Oh, good. Those harpies and a bunch of women with axes were really giving us trouble. Lots of trouble. We've had to shut down some of our exports of grain, but we'll soon be able to pay our tithe again. He looks around up at your creatures and he says, I suppose you'll be wanting to feed these beauties. Least we can do is offer you some feed in return for dealing with the pirate problem.
Oh, that would be most appreciated.
Of course. Part of our agreement with the Girian Dominion.
Well, we're thankful all the same.
Could I,
Polite young fellows.
Can I make an insight check to see if he seems at all annoyed by having to pay a tithe to the Dominion, or...
Go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Insight?
Yes.
16?
His main emotion actually seems to be serious relief at the idea that the pirates have been dealt with. So while he might not be overjoyed at paying a tithe, he mainly seems to feel, the main emotion you are feeling from him, Kaluna, is one of relief and thanks.
Kaluna asks him, you said you've been dealing with these harpies and pirate attacks for quite some time now. Have they always come from the south or southeast?
The elderly halfling tugs at his chin whiskers. Well, in recent times, aye.
Why?
I'm not sure I heard.
I said in recent times, aye, they've been coming from the south.
But before?
Before we had some trouble, years ago now, from, well, decades, really. We had some trouble from the east. But we Orlefs keep to ourselves and can hold our own in defense. Not that we needed to apply that to our Girian friends to the west, of course. You understand? But we held tight through that trouble, and we would have held through this as well, but we're very glad to have some Sky Knights around to help.
We're glad to be of service.
Let's get you all fed, and your beasts as well.
Thank you for your hospitality.
So the Orlef extended family, or clan, has large store of grains and horse meat and various other critters that they can offer to feed you and your beasts.
Awesome.
It is still the morning, but you have a grand brunch, and your mounts will gorge themselves to the point of being unable to fly if you let them.
Let's not.
I reach into a barrel of mice and throw some at Beth.
You are familiar with halfling eating practices, Kaluna. So...
Well, my manners might be a bit rusty coming from a nomadic group of halflings.
True. That's actually very true. This is a farming group. But your nomads have settled down in more recent years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll try to at least somewhat regulate what Skypiercer eats. Like, he'll definitely get a bigger meal than usual, but I'm not going to let him completely gorge himself.
Got it. So you take your meal. The various Orlef family. There are halflings of all ages. They regard you with a friendly manner, but they are speaking amongst each other mostly in halfling. And Kaluna would know that they are talking mostly of farming matters and needing to fix this or that and the other thing, or what they're going to plant come spring. And they kind of give you a table outdoors that's that's sized for bigger folk, and let you serve you guys some bread and cheese and other good things to eat as well. Would you guys like to do anything here?
I think over brunch we might want to go ahead and plan our next move. I mean, my assumption is that we just want to head basically directly to the northwest to get to the lookout. But if anybody has other ideas, then now's a good time to talk about it.
Maybe go diagonally to just to be overland again. Not spend too much time completely in between the land masses.
I think we should head there as promptly as possible, because by now, Zanzorin's corpse is bound to have made it there, and they could be very concerned and trying to send out search parties, and who knows. I think we should try to get back quickly.
All right. Perhaps we should go along this direction then. There's a compromise between the two, still making time, but spending the last portion of the journey overland.
Sounds good.
It's only 11 feet away. Perfect.
Actually,
Scale here might be an issue.
that would be an interesting... I actually could change... it.
Yeah, you could change it to miles. You could even just change it to days of travel.
There we go.
That kind of thing.
Oh, it is days of travel an option?
I think you can just type something in.
Oh my god, yes. Well, it's not really gonna
Yeah.
match up. But anyway. Okay. So, once you guys have eaten your fill, do you just take off? Say your farewells?
Yeah, we'll
right.
say our farewells and our thanks, and then I think we'll get going.
The Orlif family bids you good day, and they kind of line up in between you guys and their gigantic mill as you take off. And you don't really need to roll an insight to tell that while they were happy to feed you, they're also glad to be rid of you.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You guys are going to fly off, spend a day flying over emptiness before you land in Giria once more. And then it's going to be another day's travel to make it back to the Wind's Eye Lookout. So we are going to have some rolls for that. But why don't we take this opportunity to take a short break and return after that. Sound good?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
All right. We will be right back, folks. Back in just a few minutes. And we're back. Okay. So, when you travel, up here in the sky, flying on the back of your creatures, you don't really need to worry about the difficulties of travel unless there's a storm. Which, let's find out if there is one. Oh, right, the macros don't carry over from the other campaign. Okay. Okay. But it's normal weather. So you really... The only reason you would find trouble up here in the sky is if you're looking for it. So keeping a lookout, as opposed to staying hidden in the case of camping, or other being comfortable in the case of camping, is in this case it's more about keeping a lookout as you travel for anything interesting up here in the sky. So we are once again going to have our little skill challenge. As you guys fly one day across the empty air, you can make a perception roll. You can make some other kind of roll, perhaps. You can do something else. You can converse as you fly, or something else. But once again, we are going to see if you get 3 check marks before getting 3 X's. So everyone can roll a perception, if they wish, to help contribute.
Could I have Emlenthal make the check?
Yes, but Emlenthal will be looking for different things than you.
Okay. Is that in our best interest still, if she's the one looking?
Emlenthal will be looking mostly for flying prey.
Okay.
Or other things of that kind. Not really looking for...
Okay. I can just make the check myself then.
Things that might be of interest to you.
Okay. Damn it.
Look
Okay.
at all the pretty clouds.
Alright. You guys have 1 X, and you've gotten 2 check marks. So, who is going to roll again?
I think I probably have the highest perception of the group, but we probably shouldn't metagame it like that.
No, it's okay.
Are we okay to do?
You all have to make the initial roll, and after that, anyone can jump up. Basically, we have to spread it out as much as possible.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do a perception.
That's a success. So, keeping a lookout. After a few hours' flight, out here in the middle of nowhere, you come to notice that you notice some floating debris. Your group, as you all worked together on this check, notice some floating debris. And do you want to... it looks like there are some floating bits of something or other, and you can see things dangling from them by ropes. Do you want to fly closer to investigate, or pass on?
Am I able to inspect for traps? What is that for you, Mac?
I'm just going to go off of your guys' perception rolls you've already made. It doesn't look like traps. Looks more like the aftermath of a battle.
I think we should investigate.
I think so too.
And he
she'll fly
continues like
close.
staring at the sun or whatever he was doing.
He's just like, gotta keep an eye on that orange ball of fire.
Trust that.
Hey, you never know when it'll come down on you as an actual fireball.
Okay, you guys fly closer and you find bits of wood with sky metal attached. And here and there are ropes hanging from these with bodies dangling from the ropes. They are all women and dressed similarly to the dead one back on the island of Archways.
Are they like hung by the neck, or were
No,
they, like,
around the
tethered?
waist, tethered.
And I'm sorry, like, can we tell how long they've been dead? Like, how decomposed?
They look pretty fresh.
Like, so, this is some sort of, pirate effigy type thing. Is this in keeping with the Sky Knights ethos? This seems kind of barbaric.
It's not. Normally you bury bodies, or give them a sky burial, rather than leave them hanging in midair.
I mean, does it look like they were intentionally placed here?
There's just scattered bits of floating debris. And these bodies, which are bloody and punctured by spikes. Does not look like they were intentionally placed.
Is this around one of the two sites where they were fighting the larger airships?
Make a survival check.
Okay. Okay, that was real crap. Now, let me say, I do have the Wanderer background and have a really good memory for locations, maps, terrain. I do realize that the sky is really crappy terrain to have memory
Note
about.
that I
but
also have the same background because we made the same character.
You have the Outlander feature.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or it's the Outlander background and it's the Wanderer feature. I don't know. But it's the same. We both have the same.
Okay. Can you pop it up in chat or no? Have you not typed it in? Excellent. Wow. Impressive. Okay. Well, Paint wouldn't know this, but Kaluna and Aandil, you guys can tell this is about where you think the raid on the merchant ship might have happened.
And that was the one that none of the Sky Knights went to deal with, right?
Right.
Okay, so the merchants presumably left them like this.
Well, maybe
Or these are the merchants.
when they were fighting the merchants, they
okay.
blew the ship like they did back on our island.
And Max, you said a sky burial is in keeping with our ethos?
Mm-hmm.
Is that literally just like letting them fall?
Usually there's some ritual involved, but yes. Some cultures have a sky burial mountain where birds will come and devour the dead. This is a real world thing, by the way.
Well, Emlenthal, I ate that big meal just yesterday, so probably don't want to do that. Well, we can't just leave them hanging here.
I agree. Let's settle this.
If it can be done quickly, I don't want to waste a lot of time on the dead when we have the living to worry about.
Agreed.
And Kaluna will attempt to cut through one of the corpse's head.
Easily done. One swipe of your blade, and the corpse falls. As you are flying closer, you see most of these don't actually look like identical to the pirate's dress, but more sailorly.
Perhaps we should carry them to land then, instead of dropping those ones?
I think we're too far. It's a lot of distance to cover.
Better they fall than to stay here.
Yeah, I don't think we've got a good way to like search. Like, there's not a good solid piece, right? It's mostly just like random bits of debris.
Mm-hmm. Mostly full
We
of
can't really
spikes.
land, right?
Yeah.
No, probably landing on one of these things would cause it to drop.
Okay. Yeah. Then Pate will just say, or he'll say a quick prayer, and he'll cut the remaining ropes to let the other bodies fall.
Okay. The 2 or 3 bodies, tethers are cut, and they drop down, 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 and out of sight.
None of us have medicine, so oh well.
Yeah. All right. And then I guess we'll keep going.
Okay. Leaving the grisly scene behind, you fly on. The rest of your flight is without incident, and you come to the forested shores of Giria, the larger floating landmass. You are going to need to make camp almost as soon as you get there, as you got a late start. And
Yeah.
Are we
the
in 2617 now?
you are now in 2617.
That says
With your ability, you would know that.
at- What is that? What's the lower word on that? It's kind of pixelated.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't upload to Roll20 very clearly, did it?
Ruins.
Ruins
at,
of Leaf Hollow.
Hollow? Oh, okay.
You guys are right on the edge of Giria. You are not right at the ruins, but This whole region kind of has a creepy feeling to it.
Is it wooded or fields or?
It's forested.
Oh, good. So we can make a proper camp then.
Okay.
Can Kaluna use survival to try to find us a nice hidden
Absolutely.
safe spot?
We're starting a skill challenge for making camp.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep. Andil will try to find some nice saplings that we can use to build a little structure over our heads.
All right. Okay, if you're going to make a structure out of some cut saplings, like bend them over and lay down some twigs for even more shelter, yeah, go ahead. Oh, a 20 on survival.
That's how he would do it.
Absolutely.
He's actually trying to make
Okay.
it comfortable for the other two. He would be fine just kind of sleeping out in the forest. Like, that's totally normal.
Okay.
But he knows that these guys want a roof.
Okay.
Yeah. Pate would probably just be more focused on like keeping a lookout, like scouting out the area, making sure that there's nothing hostile nearby, that kind of thing.
Okay. So, Pate, are you, what check are you making?
I was thinking perception.
Go for
but
it.
Maybe investigation's more applicable.
Are you guys, I think you guys are going for kind of a sheltered camp. More defensible and comfortable. So,
Yeah.
actually, either one of those, probably Pate, is fine.
Okay. That's a 15.
Very nice. So your camp gains the sheltered quality this evening.
Awesome.
Oh man, that's huge on this map. Okay. You're not going to... Are you guys setting a watch as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Who would be on watch in the second hour?
Probably Pate. Pate's probably still taking first watch, letting Kaluna take second, and then
Yeah.
Andy can
Okay.
take third and fourth.
If you want to do, like
Sounds
2
good.
and 2, and then Andil can just take the rest.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you guys have the sheltered quality, you're not hidden. But you are going to be comfortable. So you won't have to deal with exhaustion levels from being awakened early in the rest.
Good, because exhaustion sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pate, go ahead and make a perception roll for me, please.
That's a natural 20. 23.
Wow.
So we're only good at shelters. Everything else, total crapshoot. But shelters.
I also like that dude with no dark vision got a 23.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is
Listen.
worth noting. If I have disadvantage because of lack of dark vision, then it's an 18.
Well, this was actually something you hear.
Perfect.
He's got dark hearing.
So you hear, distantly, coming closer.
Totally normal forest sound.
Like a mosquito whine. But way too loud.
Now, if this setting has giant birds, does
Yeah.
it also.
Damn, one of us should have taken that bat mount.
Oh, yeah, where's the bat when you need it?
Coming closer and closer.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wake the others up. Because that sounds dangerous.
Oh, what is it now? Is it another weird undead guy on a flaming horse?
I don't think so. I think it's probably some kind of giant bug.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
You definitely... Okay, so you hear it coming closer. You guys are having this conversation. And because Pate alerted you, you guys will be awake, standing, and holding your weapons
Cool.
when these things come upon you.
I am gonna wake up Skypiercer as well.
That is fine.
I assume it's like pitch black out.
It is.
Yeah, I'll leave Hemi asleep then.
I will wake Bethan up.
And because you had the sheltered quality, nobody has to roll for exhaustion levels.
All right.
I'll change the sizes in a minute.
Okay.
I'm glad we picked stealthy for the first one.
Yeah.
I feel much more confident about killing some giant bugs.
Assuming that's what it actually is.
Yeah, sure.
Alright. So we're still experimenting a little with our combats here. So this map, we actually have a grid.
Okay.
Right, you wanted shelters.
Just drop like a house token in there.
Mm-hmm. There's your campfire.
Nice. Yeah, like a TP or something.
I might. I've got tents.
Yeah, close enough.
Do I have a wigwam? Or a yurt? Just like built an entire yurt before bed.
I mean, I did roll really well.
You did.
He's a wood elf, right? Like, they just like sing to the trees, right? And then
Right.
One of them are cradled in their wooden bosom.
like, I don't know. He rolled pretty well. If he got a natural 20, like, I think it's straight up Lothlorien.
Well, fine then. Alright. I don't know how many of you have tents, etc. But, That is the setup we are going with.
Are we armored, or would we say only Pate is armored with weapons at hand, or?
Pate would be armored, but nobody else is.
Do elves have to take their armor off for the trance state, or
Yes.
how that works? Okay.
Alright, Kaluna, you have 60-foot dark vision?
Say that lost you.
You have 60-foot dark vision?
Bethan does.
Oh, okay. And you just woke
Actually,
Bethan
he
up.
has 120.
Bethan has 120 dark vision?
He's an
I
owl.
believe so. Let me double
Yeah.
check. Yes, 120 foot dark vision.
Andy has 60.
And so does Skypiercer, 60.
Okay. Well, Bethan will be the first to kind of react and stiffen up as some creatures come flying out of the forest.
Oh my god.
Their wings vibrating. But they are followed by some nasty looking canine creatures. Out of the forest as well. So, I think at this point it's time to roll initiative. So select your token, and then click roll initiative on your character sheet.
I should have actually asked, or would Skypiercer have his own initiative, or do you just want him to act on mine?
Act on yours.
Yeah, you
Okay.
want her. We worked some of this out last time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Then yeah, if you wanna remove his, I went ahead and rolled it. I'm also kind of operating under the assumption as well that Skypiercer does not have his saddle on, because I wouldn't keep that on him at night.
No, you wouldn't
So
be
I'm
able
not,
to.
so I'm not gonna be riding him for this.
Hang on just a second, guys.
No problem. You guys both have 17 decks?
Oh yeah, such decks.
You really,
Yeah.
you really did just make the same character.
Hey, I called dibs on Rogue with a bow,
I'm,
and then he stole my.
I'm a fighter with a bow. It's totally different.
Alright, so Bethan stiffens, and then as these creatures come into sight, or you can barely hear this loud whining noise coming closer and closer through the trees, and then a growl. A pair of growls as well. So you guys can't actually see them clearly in the darkness. perhaps you just are aware of their general location from the loud sounds.
Mm-hmm. So just tell me if I'm stretching what I could have done before combat. But since I was already waking everybody up, would I have had time to strike a torch and set it into the campfire?
You woke everybody up, so I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I think that would make more sense.
Yeah, waking people up was the priority, so that's fine.
Okay. All right. Almost perhaps attracted by your firelight, these things come flying up and straight towards Bethan. Go ahead and make perception checks, everybody. Yes, all of you guys, not the creatures, not the mounts.
Okay. That's a 10 for me.
My cat
Okay.
is lying across my keyboard, making push to talk very difficult. Hang on.
Pate, you are focused on these giant mosquito-like creatures that have just appeared before you. Andil and Kaluna, you guys hear more off in the woods, out of range of your dark vision.
Sorry, are you talking about these tokens that you've got over here, or something else that we can't?
I'm saying there are more that are not on the map because you can't see them.
Got it.
Kaluna can actually tell how far away they are, which is just about over here, Kaluna.
Okay.
All right. Pate. Oh, that's right. You guys had the, what quality did I give your camp?
Sheltered.
Sheltered. And Pate, you kind of explored around and looked for signs of enemies.
I did.
Okay. I'm going to say that the fire has burned low. But Pate, you are pretty well aware of the surrounding territory.
Okay.
And the light shed by the campfire is going to be 10 feet of bright light, and then 10 more feet of dim.
Okay.
Okay. So these creatures have flown up and seem to be congregating for the moment around Bethan, who does not look pleased to you, Kaluna. Andil, you are next to react. Your weapon is in hand, your armor is not on. Or any other gear.
Armor is not on, you said?
Correct.
How, are you just going to factor that in when you're rolling for us, or should I actually modify my armor class on the sheet?
If you would modify it on your sheet, please.
Okay. Okay. So he's gonna. Are the trees that we're seeing? Are they like thick foliage, or are they like more of a tall tree with a canopy?
They are generally pretty thick foliage. Not like impassable though.
But
So
like,
you can pass through the trees as difficult terrain.
the two guys that are just at the edge of my dark vision down there, the wolf-sounding things. Are they like? Do I have a clean shot on them, or are they like in bushes right now?
You have an obscured shot on them.
Okay, I'm gonna take a step sideways to be more in front of Emlenthal, and I'm gonna shoot at one of the things bothering Bethan.
Okay.
Ugh. What a terrible roll.
You're having just awakened. Your grip on the bow is a little shaky, and your arrow flies wide, right between the giant flying mosquitoes. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, I think that's it. That's all I can really contribute at this moment.
Okay. Pate.
Okay, Pate is going to move over to here using 10 feet of movement, and then he's going to take a swing at that mosquito thing.
Oh, he reaches out with his
Slave.
polearm.
Yep, because I've got reach.
All right.
So that's a 17 to hit.
That is a hit.
Okay, that's a 4 damage, but I'm going to re-roll that because I have great weapon fighting.
Go for
so
it.
I get to re-roll 1s or 2s. Well, alright then.
Nonetheless, you one-shotted that thing.
Well, okay then. Cool.
Oh, cool. I'm so glad I missed.
Your weapon slices through and the two wings go flying off in different directions.
Okay. Then I'm going to move past Bethan to get down into this spot because I heard the growling over there, even if I can't quite see the wolves yet. So I'm kind of ready. I've got my polearm ready.
Got
In a
it.
defensive posture. And then Skypiercer will probably try to just whack the other mosquito that's on Bethan right now. Assuming I've got control of him.
Yeah, you can you can direct Skypiercer, although it's definitely
Okay.
easier when you have him as when you're mounted. So we're still in the early stages of this campaign, and we're still working out some of the rules. You woke up Skypiercer as when you were waking everybody up?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But Skypiercer can also see the wolves, and I'm not giving him specific instructions. I'm basically just telling him that, or, I'm kind of just telling him to attack.
Okay.
So.
Alright, well, when
Say
you're
he goes for
not
something
mounted
else,
on him, yeah, he can sometimes just act more instinctively.
Sure.
But right now, yeah, he's going to go up and try and take out this Sturge. So go ahead and make his attacks.
Okay, so we'll start with the claws. And that is a 12 to hit.
That's a miss.
Yeah, that's what I rolled.
Unless flanking rules apply.
Bethan hasn't gone yet. And therefore is not providing flanking.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with the flanking rules. Would Pate be providing flanking with his reach, or is that, or does it only work for being adjacent?
Oh, is Pate? Yes, actually. So that's actually a crit.
Yeah, reach is incredibly good.
Fantastic.
Absolutely destroys that thing with a critical hit.
Yep.
Just chomp and swallow.
It's like a fly swatter, right?
Yep.
Like, crushes it.
All right. If that's the end of Pate's turn, then Kaluna.
So, just to clarify, so you said that our mounts are not wearing saddles. I'm assuming that means no bareback on a bird mount. Is that correct?
You'll probably fall off.
Okay.
Aendel's going to be working his way up to that technology, but probably not yet.
The technology of going bareback.
Yeah, of bird surfing.
Okay.
Like Teen Wolf on a van.
That would be a cool feat. All right, Kaluna, what are you doing?
Oh, let me take a peek here. Well, I think I'm going to command... Well, shit. I think I'm going to fire at where I think the closest enemy in that bush is
Okay.
with my short bow. Because I don't really want to send Bethan in there.
Okay.
I'm assuming I'll be rolling at disadvantage, is that
You
correct?
will be, yes. Well, actually, roll a perception roll for me.
Perception? Okay, one second.
You will have disadvantage. You've got to guess at his location.
Well, fuck him.
Disadvantage, 23.
Oh my god.
Through the eye.
And
The,
almost max damage, too. Like, Jesus.
The wolf yelps in pain as it takes 8 damage. Very impressive. Looks like the wolves hoping to scavenge from the sturges, or perhaps vice versa, have gotten more than they bargained for. So, Kaluna, your strike is a hit. Is there anything else you're doing?
Can I have Bethan ready in action?
I'm going to say that's a little too complicated when you're not mounted on him.
Yeah, that's fair. I am just gonna scoot him over here.
Okay. When you guys are mounted on the creatures, they can pretty much do whatever you want them to.
Sorry, say that again. I lost you.
When you guys are mounted on the creatures, you can pretty much have them do whatever you want. Corey wouldn't know this, but it costs you an action to have them attack when you're mounted on them. That's why I was thinking about whether Skypiercer would be able to attack. But we'll just
gotcha.
let it go for that time.
Because, Corey, the reason being that both of our mounts are horrifyingly devastating in combat right now compared to us.
Oh, yes, I'm fully aware of that fact.
Actually, that probably should have applied. But we'll apply it next time, okay?
Okay, no problem.
So it costs your action to have your mount attack.
Okay.
But not to move them or anything like that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So Kaluna, you're like, and you point over here. And Bethan just kind of shuffles over there.
Kind of waddles.
Remember, you can teach them. They can learn tricks, and so having them attack independently of you is actually a trick that they can learn.
Gotcha.
I just kind of forgot that on Corey's turn. Okay. So Kaluna is done.
Yep.
The creatures now go. So first of all, the wolf that's been badly injured by the arrow just turns and runs.
He's gonna go alert his boss.
The other wolf hesitates for a moment, and his hesitation is rewarded as more sturges come flying up. So they enter the sight of those of you with dark vision. Man, I can't believe I completely forgot all the special rules for this game on Corey's turn.
Yeah. Everybody gets one, like, attack with their mount for no reason.
It's weird because we're like using a grid and like this is on the ground and it's like totally different from the last time.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the intent, but I'm confusing myself. We all have to get used to a bunch of special rules for Sky Knights. Okay. So all these sturges come flying up, and you guys hear the occasional growl from within this tree. But you can't necessarily see the exact location of this wolf.
That wolf's just kind of cheering on the Sturges.
Exactly. And Bill.
Okay, I still want to be between them and Emmy, so I'm going to stay right where I am. And I'm going to shoot... I don't know, I guess I'll shoot the front one. If I can hit. God. That elven archery, though.
You're like, you've still got, like sailors when they've been at sea for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they like land. Yeah, you don't have your land legs, and you're just like, you're like trying to balance on like a bird that you're not actually standing on, and you're like.
I'm confused because like these woods are like my homeland, but they're not, and it's weird.
And you kind of forgot about like objects being in the way, and you just shoot the tree.
Yeah.
Chunk.
I'd like to point out that I rolled a 5 and then a 2.
Yeah.
Well.
You're just like, there's giant mosquitoes, and you shoot off into the darkness. Pate, your turn.
Okay.
So you are not mounted on Skypiercer. So while Skypiercer, your mounts will defend themselves, but they aren't really, yours to command when you're not mounted on them.
Sure.
So, so we'll say that Skypiercer, those creatures got too close, and it just kind of ripped one out of the air.
Sure.
Last turn. I think that actually makes total sense. I wish I'd thought of it then. But you will now take your turn, and Skypiercer will kind of like look at you and defend himself, but not really obey your commands unless he has a trick that he knows.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of come over and, I'm hearing the buzzing that's going on.
You
so
are.
I'm gonna, So I'm gonna try to come over and see if I can, take a couple of swings.
Make a perception roll.
Okay. That's a 19 or a 10 if we're considering lack of dark vision.
Yes, indeed. So you do not know their exact position. So you are kind of swinging in the dark. So you will have disadvantage on your attack roll.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and...
I will say it will only cost an action to light the torch on the embers of the fires, if that's what you want to do instead.
Sorry, say that again?
You asked me before about lighting a torch.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it costs an action to light the torch. So that's still an option open to you.
Yeah, the problem I'm having right now is that I've got a two-handed weapon. And so me holding a torch doesn't really work. That's why I was hoping I could just drop it in the...
You're going to have to requisition a magical light.
Yep, that's going to be really useful.
That sounds like magic. We don't do that.
But yeah, so for now I'm taking a couple of blind swings. So I'm starting with, or I'm trying to hit this one.
Okay.
If I can, and that's a 7, so I can't.
Whiff! You're like hearing the buzzing, and you're swinging your weapon in the dark, and it's obvious to Andil that you can't see your enemy. And you swing it out, and whoosh, just passes right underneath the creature.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to believe that Andil's trying to do fancy trick shots, and that's why he keeps missing. Because he can see. There's really no excuse.
Yeah, and then with my bonus action, because I am a polearm master, I am going to use my bonus action to make another attack with the opposite end of my weapon.
Is this variant human such?
Yes. So, still disadvantage, but making another attempt. And that's a natural 1.
You flip your weapon around.
Good job, me!
Yeah, like you're wielding it right. They're just not where you think they are.
Yeah. Then I'm going to use my last 2 squares of movement to get back into the light.
Okay. Kaluna.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so I'm gonna stick kind of close to the fire and try to take a shot at the closest sturgeon to me. That sturgeon.
Okay.
What are they called?
Skypiercer isn't your mount, so he's not really going to be cooperative to you and isn't really in tune with you. So he will actually be blocking your shot if you stand there.
Got it. What if I try to hit this one? Sorry, I guess I can't make little circles on the map, can I?
You can if you choose the top left option, select move, arrow, and then click and hold. But even this guy is, I think, partially blocked.
If you were to move down one more square, you would probably have a clear shot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're good there. And you have dark vision. No, you don't. Right? Hello? Did we lose?
Sorry. I
Not
was
here.
not holding push to talk.
Okay.
There we go. Jesus. Yep, I will roll perception.
Okay. The loud buzzing sound, roll perception with disadvantage. You fail, so you will have disadvantage on your
for sure.
attack roll.
Oh, well, 16 to hit.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
9 piercing.
That is one dead sturge. You pin it to the tree behind. Chunk! With your arrow, and it is no more. The other gigantic, oversized insects are still coming on, however. I just wanted a closer look at them. Anything else?
I'm going to get on the other side of Pate with the rest of my movement.
Okay. They will now be flying closer. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 2 of them are flying up to Skypiercer, which means that Skypiercer will attack them on Pate's turn.
Okay.
One of them is going for Pate.
All right. As soon as it gets into that square, I'm going to use my attack of opportunity to take a swing at him because I'm a polar master.
You don't. Oh, you do. He's in dim light there.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll get attack opportunity at disadvantage.
Alrighty. That's a 16.
One-shotted.
All right.
Got a lot of these advantage rolls. not so
No.
disadvantaged.
I know.
Pate, you've used your reaction, and therefore, when the wolf comes running up to you,
I can't stop it.
you do not get another attack of opportunity. Okay. $11.
11 misses. I've got a 16.
Okay. Skypiercer's getting attacked from the Sturges.
Okay. His armor class is 12.
They both hit. So both of these giant mosquito-like creatures latch on to Skypiercer and begin draining blood. And you can actually see, if you either have dark vision or just in the dim light of the fire, the Sturges going up in size as they swell up, and there's these sort of sacs, SAC, that that fill with Skypiercer's blood. Gross.
Yeah, that's nasty.
And Skypiercer, I'll track his HP because there isn't a thing on.
Yeah, I'm using the red box.
Oh, you can edit that? Great.
Yep. I can't edit it on his character sheet, but I can create a
Yep.
little window for him.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have to start doing that. Okay. So Skypiercer just took 13 points of damage.
Ugh.
And the Sturges starts swelling. Andil.
Wait, 13 points?
He
I'm
got
seeing
hit twice.
9 and 7. I'm seeing 9 and 7.
That is adding the crit damage that he didn't actually get.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
The wolf would have had advantage to attack Pate if Pate hadn't killed that Sturge,
Hooray!
by the way.
So, can I still attack the Sturges, or are they like part of Skypiercer now?
You will have to maneuver yourself to have like a clear shot.
Like, down towards where they are.
And honestly, if you miss by 5, you might actually accidentally hit Skypiercer.
Well, the way that's been going. What about, what does it take to switch weapons? Is that an action?
I think that's just an object interaction.
Yeah, normal rules is that you would have to drop your bow, because that's a free action, and then you can use your object manipulation to drop.
Yeah.
Is object manipulation a bonus action, or a...
It's just its own action. It's just its own thing.
Yeah.
Well, like, does that use up my attack, is what I'm saying?
Nope.
Okay. It also says on this blood drain ability that you can use your action to just kind of pull it off without any check.
Uh-huh. You could run up and grab these giant insect things and pull them off of Skypiercer.
I mean, that sounds gross, but I think I should drop my bow and do that because the bow's not working for me.
I wouldn't force you to drop the bow.
Well, okay, so I basically, instead of drawing an arrow, my arrow drawing hand I use to grab this sturge.
Yep. You're holding the bow in one hand, and with the other one you grab... It's so gross. You grab onto the sturge, and it, like, squelches, and you pull it out, and its long, needle-like face just pulls out of Skypiercer, and then it kind of flutters out of your grip, and it's right there now.
It's all slippery and gross.
Yep. So it's you just pulled it out and had to let go, and there it is.
Perfect.
All right, that's Andel's turn. Pate.
All right. Pate is going to attack this wolf that's right in front of him.
Okay.
So that's a 9 to hit.
Yeah, you actually have disadvantage because it's dim light there. Well, I guess I would let you... Yeah, you just have straight up disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I'm assuming a 9 misses.
A 9 will... Oh no, I guess you don't have disadvantage, but you don't have advantage either. So
yeah,
it's just a 9. Yeah, no, I forgot. Light obscurement doesn't apply disadvantage, but it just allows people to make hide checks. When this wolf is no longer being stealthy, you made an attack.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to use my bonus action to try to hit it with the blunt end. And
so Pete is just like this storm of attacks. He's spinning his weapon around and connecting with absolutely nothing.
Yep. Way to go, Pate.
Just grab it.
You know, Pate is a little freaked out. You know, his attack in the middle of the night in the forest. Creatures, you can see the wolf mainly by the flash of its yellow eyes in the fire. Kaluna, your turn. Unless Pate wants to do something else.
Nope, that's it. Although, is Skypiercer going to do anything about the...
Oh,
Sturgis?
yeah. Go ahead. Skypiercer has 2 attacks, right?
What's that?
Skypiercer has 2 attacks?
He does. One with his beak and one with his claws.
Okay. So he is going to make 1 attack at each of the Sturges.
Sure.
Oh, but at the start of his turn... Oh, it's Sturgis' turn. The Sturgis' turn. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so the beak attack is a 19.
Alright, he successfully slays the one that's attached to him.
Alright, and the claw attack is also a 19.
Just lashing out with claws, and all the Sturges are now dead.
Hooray!
I helped.
Kaluna's turn.
All right, well, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to make a sneak attack against the wolf since it's within 5 feet of Pate.
Cool.
See that coming.
What weapon are you using?
My short sword.
Okay.
And I'm assuming I'm within that 10 feet of dim light. Well, I guess the enemy isn't within 10 feet of the dim light. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so quick perception.
Nope, you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
He's lightly obscured, which means that he there's no special rules. 16 hits and 9 damage. So you
Plus
just
your sneak attack.
Oh yeah, sneak attack.
Oh crap! Yeah, hang on.
I think it's just a D6 at this level.
Yeah.
So that's 11.
11 damage. Nice.
Kaluna, this little halfling, just darts in Pate while all your attacks are spinning around. The little halfling, while the wolf is distracted by your attacks, has the opportunity to come in from the side and draws her short sword along on the underside of the wolf's neck, slitting its throat.
You big
Awesome.
people are all flash.
Combat
I'm
is
just glad you
over.
got the job done.
She grins.
Panting, you survey the field. Everything is dead, and no more penetrating whine of wings hurts your ears.
All right, I'm immediately gonna start trying to tend to Skypiercer and probably trying to calm him down since he's just been dealing
Yes.
with massive insects.
Absolutely. Make a handle animal check.
Okay. That's a 16.
You are successful. Skypiercer did not like that much, but after a few minutes of stomping or clawing the dead sturges, it's just like retreats to a tree and sulks until you stroke his feathers the right way.
All right. Cool.
All right. So, since you guys had the nice camp, you are additionally not going to have to sleep too much extra in order to make up for fighting in the middle of the night.
Cool.
You continue watching through the night, but it seems that whatever these hunting creatures were probably dominate the area. And nothing else bothers you but for a few normal-sized insects. And you will be able to awaken just a couple hours late the next morning. Refreshed, so regain your hit points. In this game, you only regain 1 hit die for a night's rest. But I don't think anybody had spent any.
Okay.
Did the prior rest that we got, did that count as a full rest? That would have put me back up to max HP? Or have we not had a real full rest?
Did the prior rest put you at full?
Like the one, the first time we camped out stealthily. Like, I completed my 4-hour trance, so was that a full rest for Andil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone else slept fitfully, but they didn't have too much damage on them, I think. Okay. So, with the sturges and wolves dead, you wake up the next morning. All their corpses are lying scattered about, a bloody smear on the grass. But that's not the strange thing. In the light of day, the wolves have changed. No longer wolves, but men.
Uh-oh.
Oh, crap.
Naked and hairy. They lie dead on the green sward.
Well, there was only one wolf we killed. So
Sorry.
That's good.
That guy. Not the one that ran away.
I didn't know that was a thing. I'm gonna check to see if there's anything to identify who the guy is.
He is completely naked.
Okay.
Any distinguishing tattoos or anything?
Make an investigation check.
Real good at that.
If you both are working on it, then you get advantage for a total of 2.
I think he's a man.
Kaluna's too distracted by the fact that she totally killed a dude instead of a dog.
Hmm.
You see her look a bit pale.
Big old naked dude. He looks like he had elven blood, perhaps a half-elf. But very hairy. Not completely transformed back, I guess.
Yeah. Shoot, I don't think that Pate's carrying a spade or anything like that, like a shovel.
Probably not.
I mean, maybe should we take a quick flight around and see if there's a village nearby?
With your geography knowledge, you would know that the ruins are nearby.
But that's it, just the ruins.
The ruins of Leaf Hollow. It's written about in our Gyrian Dominion Gazetteer.
Yeah, I'm bad and I can't remember.
Yeah, Pate definitely wants to know what's going on there, but it's as much as I would like to investigate this and figure this out, we need to let HQ know about about Tybalt and his Harpy minions. So I think that we just need to let's try to do something to cover this man, but I don't think we can spend much more time investigating right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we don't have like a shovel or anything in any of our like packs, but I guess it makes sense.
Maybe we should give him a sky burial?
How close are we to the edge? I mean, I know Max mentioned that we had to camp pretty quickly. But...
Half a mile.
Okay. Yeah. So Pate will get Skypiercer like all saddled up, and he'll lash the man to to the back of Skypiercer so that we can just go that half mile. You
lash the bloody corpse to the back of your mount, and the first thing.
And it's probably not too bloody at this point. I mean, it was a slice to the neck, and most of that would have gone into the grass, I think.
Yeah, he's pretty desanguinated at this point, right?
I mean, there would still be a mess.
Okay.
It's not like an overturned barrel.
God.
The first order of business that morning is you guys fly back the way you came and dump the hairy half-elf off and into the void.
Yeah, and once that's done, I'll try to clean the back of Skypiercer off a bit.
Absolutely. Skypiercer will definitely appreciate being cleaned.
Got some wet wipes here.
And you probably would be disturbed by Skypiercer licking or cleaning up the blood himself.
Yeah. Let's not give the griffin a taste for human flesh.
All right. And so, after that, you guys take a northward path, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. I won't really make you roll to notice anything. Well, everyone roll a perception roll.
That's a 21.
An 11.
Very nice. So, guys, flying north, you will pass over the ruins of Leaf Hollow. The collapsed keep. Stones are overgrown. Trees sprout from what were once the walls of banquet halls. And you see creatures pate among the ruins. Perhaps most of them on four legs. Hairy, wolf-like. But leaving that sight behind, after a full day's flight, you see the stone spire of Wind's Eye Lookout as you fly over the grassy plains that the forest gives way to. And as you come up, you are met in the air by Dame Osana the Titan, who turns and flies with you guys toward the familiar perches and docking mounts up near the top of the tower. And as you begin taking the tack off, unloading your gear, squires or porters come and help you guys. You're familiar. Dame Osana's personal squire arrives and helps her, and she comes up to you guys and says, "You're going to need to give a full report. We'll have to debrief you."
Of course. It's much has happened.
Sir Zanzorin is dead.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
His mount, the Bronze Dragon. Dame Osana is this enormous woman. She's almost 7 feet tall. Looms over you guys. And shakes her head. She says, "It's unfortunate. And I'm sorry, Sir Knights, but we will have to take your report as soon as you're able."
I understand. We came here as fast as we could.
Good. Well, we will take a supper. She turns to one of the squires. You guys are familiar with what they have to do, running up and down the tower. She turns to her squire and says, "We will take a quick supper in the third meeting room. The Chamber of the Griffin, I think." And the squire runs off to fulfill her request, and she says, "Sirs, clean yourselves up, wash off the blood and grime, and meet me in the Chamber of the Griffin, please." once you guys have done that, you are familiar with Windseye Lookout, and there's all kinds of facilities, and you no longer have dorm rooms, but you easily are assigned some while you are here, back at your base of operations. You are able to quickly clean yourselves up and meet her there. I am not going to go into a detailed description of the tower and all the people and the constantly busy place, the comings and goings, because I'm trying to wrap up tonight's session. But it is very familiar to you, and you are able to meet Dame Osana without issue, having cleaned yourselves up in the chamber of the Single Griffin, which has a griffin symbol painted above on the door in approximately the middle of the tower. She goes through some of the standard military protocol. There's also a scribe in the room. The scribe is her squire. And what are you guys going to report to her?
Pate's emphasis will be on what he saw. He saw the explosion, and he came to try to support Andy and Kaluna. And when he got there, the battle was already over. He had heard about Sanzoran, and then basically tried to explain what he saw with or in the night with Tybalt the Fearless and his mount, and the fact that we are pretty sure he was one of the Sky Knights formerly, and that the Harpies were definitely serving him.
Okay. Do you tell her anything else?
Kaluna will confirm what Pate said. She will also add that they saw a strange symbol on the ship of the pirates. She'll try to recreate that symbol as best she can, and she tells them it crumbled to ash when she attempted to inspect it further. And she'll also tell them about the nature of those portal gates, and that they said that they would take that portal stone, it seems like, to a different location to activate those gates. She kind of goes into detail about those, describing them as a strange technology she's not familiar with.
Okay. The squire scribbles all of this down. Anything else?
Andy will also add that he referred to the flaming horse as something like Dulhalia, and kind of phased out of existence. He didn't really seem to need to use the portals.
Dame Osana nods and says, "A nightmare. Made by torturing and twisting a Pegasus and ripping off its wings with certain dark rituals, turning it into a mount for some fiendish being. Horrible."
Certainly sounds like what we saw.
A nightmare seems an appropriate way to describe that creature.
Indeed.
Also, the plant life on the island died within hours of that being there.
Disturbing. Did you have any trouble on your return journey?
We were attacked by winged monsters in the forest and wolves that changed back into men.
She raises her eyebrows at that.
Yes, this was at the southern end of the Leaf Hollow. We were attacked by 2 wolves. We killed one, drove the other off, and when we awoke in the morning, the one that had died had transformed into a man.
She says, were they normal wolves but for that, or larger, more powerful beings?
They seemed like normal wolves, but we were fighting by a dim firelight, and we didn't investigate.
I see. Well, have you anything else to report? Did you bring us any pieces of evidence, or are there dead to be buried other than Sir Zanzorin?
Oh, Kaluna also recounts that they came across the debris from that airship, that they buried what they assumed to be pirates with the sky burial. And that, to the best of their ability, they gave everybody they came across a proper burial.
Okay.
We also, at least she recounts that they were aided by the Orlif Enclave.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know. Very well. Well, thank you very much. And she looks around she looks over this sort of a old table in there, and she says, "Sirs, I will leave it up to your judgment where to go next, and what you should do next. But Wind's Eye Lookout would certainly encourage you to follow up and discover where these other pirate hideouts may be. Go forth with bravery and honor, and protect the good citizens of the Garian Dominion." And with that, we are going to call tonight's session. Well, go ahead. Were you about to say something?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We'll have to... Corey didn't get the aerial battle experience.
That's all right.
But that may happen again soon. Who knows? So you guys should discuss during the week where your characters are going to head next and what thread you're going to pull on. There's also, you could do research and find out more about everything or subjects that interest you. There is a library at Wind's Eye Lookout, and there are people to talk to. And of course, as you head out on your next quest, you can requisition items to bring with you. So take note of all of that, and we will meet again next time. Oh, yes. So, Kaluna and Aendil.
Yeah.
Yes.
You will lose 2 honor for the death of Zanzorin, but gain 2 honor for battling rooting out the pirates' lair.
That's fair.
So you'll break even on that. All
It's our fault that he stayed on that exploding ship.
Hey, we were associated with the disaster. I think that's fair.
All three of you. I don't think there's any honor to be gained or lost from the battle with the wolves and sturges.
What about all the sky barrels?
That hasn't. None of those were particularly important people, to be honest.
Stick to your guns, Max.
If
So what
it
you're saying
had
is we need
been
to throw more people over the side.
right, if you had given a proper
Important
burial to
people.
like a Sky Knight or something,
Throw Sky Knights over the side.
throw a Sky Knight off the edge. No, don't do that. That might affect your honor, but a battle like that, not particularly going to push it one way or the other. So I don't think there's any honor adjustments this time. All right, I think we're done. So,
Did we hit a milestone for leveling up?
you have not.
Okay.
But there was a minor milestone that happened for Kaluna's mount, Bethan,
Cool.
which we already took care of.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for playing. Thank you to Matt, player of Aandil, Corey, player of Pate. Thank you to Lindsay, player of Kaluna. You guys are awesome players, and I think this game is working out to be pretty fun. I think the special rules are working, at least in my estimation. But we can take a closer look at them later on as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to dig deeper. And thank you, Max, for being an awesome GM for us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
For sure. And the rules are coming together, I think. The more
I
we
think
play.
so. Yeah.
It's making.
Yeah. We'll have to decide on whether my plan was to try out no grid for aerial combat and grid for land combat, for ground combat. We'll have to see if that's working for us. I think it does work pretty well. So I'm happy with that as well. Yeah, a lot of interesting experimental systems that we're kind of trying out. But I think the game's theme and story also came out in this session more as well. And we'll have to see what threads you guys choose to pull on.
For sure, we'll give it some thought.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you for coming by and watching The Man with No Screen Name and making all those amazing puns in Twitch chat. Thank you to anybody who watches this later. You're awesome. Have a good night, folks. And
Thank
we will be back with another session of the Sky Knights in a week, and I will be running the Wildlands campaign with a bunch of missing players, but we're still going for it tomorrow evening. So come by for that as well. Good night, and have a good one.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.